Hello and welcome to Lawyer Subs Creations. It's been a while, but we're back on track. Remember, our videos come out on Fridays, so always check to see whether there's a new video on our channel. Now, today I just want to talk about the wedding season. Spring is around the corner, and so the wedding season is about to start. Now, something that has been on my mind and which brides always ask me about is what to consider when designing or buying beaded accessories for a wedding. Now, not every bride uses jewelry for their wedding or uses beads. But from the culture, we have what we call a traditional wedding. And I believe a lot of cultures have what is known as the engagement party or traditional wedding. And at this traditional wedding, we like to glam up. And the bride and groom usually use beads. I'll explain as we go along. So what do we consider when designing or buying beaded jewelry for a wedding? Now, first of all, let's talk about the bride and groom. Now, the bride and groom are the cynosure of all eyes, especially if we're having the white wedding or the church wedding or the court wedding, because it is their day. But when we're talking about, in the cultural sense, a traditional wedding, it is for both parties, both families, to get to know one another and to have a very lovely day. And so, in some cultures like mine, it's not only the bride and groom's day, it is also the parents, the family's day. So each party has an aspect that they'd like to display. So for the traditional wedding, you must understand that when you're accessorizing outfits, whether it's for the white wedding or the traditional wedding, or for any ceremony, you must realize that choosing the wrong accessories can spoil your outfits for the day. If you choose the wrong accessories or you choose too much of an accessory it can spoil the total outlook of your of what you're wearing. So this for the traditional wedding, which is where the two families agree to come together and they want to celebrate it, we have, let's say, three different distinct groups that will probably use beaded accessories. We've got the bride and groom, we've got the parents of the bride and groom, and then we've got the wider audience. For today, we're just going to go through the bride and groom and the parents. Now, the bride and groom in my culture normally use, the bride would probably use a jewelry set as she likes or beaded accessories. But the bride and the groom will probably use a beaded accessory that has been made both for him and for the bride and for the groom. And on these particular beaded accessories, we normally use semi-precious beads like corals, like pearls, and things like that. Coral beads is a well-known choice. And since we are saying that the bride and the groom will use a piece together, it will be made in the same style, probably a long piece, quite long, the opera style or the longer style for the bride and groom, but in the same design, which the bride will use on top of her jewelry or her smaller bead set, and the groom will use on top of his own attire. Now, the style of your bead sets depends on your tastes and the style, of course, but it must also complement your outfit. So it is always a good idea to have your outfits when you are discussing or want to buy, when you are discussing the style or the color of the beads you want to use, or you are deciding on buying a ready-made set. If you have a good bead specialist, she'll be able to tell you or guide you as to what color to use. Because even if you're using corals, there are different colors. You've got red, you've got peach, you've got pink, you've got blue. And not all colors go with not all colors of your corals go with any color of your attire, which we call our ashoke. So it doesn't go with every color. So you need a bead specialist to tell you, to guide you as to what you want to use. Now you can also layer your sets. What I mean by layer your sets is something like this. I've layered this. I'm using a bead necklace here, and I'm using a chain necklace here. You can do it the other way around. Use a chain and use beads. It depends on you. You can use 3 sets. So it's a good idea to also layer your sets. So you can, if you really want to use jewelry, you can. If you want to use beads at the same time, you can. It all depends on you and how you're able to carry yourself. You don't have to use a long coral set. You can use a short coral or beaded necklace. It is your choice. So it depends on what you and your intended like to do for that day. There are so many options that you can choose from, but it's best not to go too overboard with what you want to wear. Remember, less is more. Although some people say more is less, it all depends on how you can carry yourself. It depends on how you feel comfortable with what you're wearing, and it depends on exactly what your type of attire is. But I would say use a bead specialist that is worth her salt. Don't just buy any bead. Don't just do anything for the sake of the fact that everybody is wearing it. It all depends on what you are wearing, the style, the necklace, the neckline of your attire. It depends. You might be wearing a blouse type buba. You might be wearing a round neck. You might be wearing sweetheart. It depends. So use a bead specialist that is worth her salt. Now, when it comes to the families, let's talk about the mother of the bride and groom. Some families decide to wear the same thing just to show that they're in unison. Some don't. It's all, as I said before, it depends on what the families agree, but it is allowed on such a traditional engagement for the mother of the bride and mother of the groom to shine. And what I mean by to shine is to wear flamboyant attire, because we consider it as much as their day as the bride and groom. So that is also agreed. Now, when it comes to the wedding day is for the bride and groom. So it is their day to shine. And you also have to take into consideration before you choose what jewelry to wear, the type of your wedding dress, the neckline of your wedding dress, or does your wedding dress have so many attachments on it? Does it have a lot of pearls? Does it have a lot of beads attached to it? Does it have sequins attached to it? Everything depends on what you choose as your wedding dress, because you want the total outlook to be beautiful. You don't want it to be too busy so that everybody will be looking at your dress. They won't see you. Yes, it's good for your attendees to look at what you're wearing, but not to forget you. So, and you don't want to be swallowed. Excuse me. You don't want to be swallowed by what you're wearing. You just need to come out beautiful. So you need a bead specialist to show you what to do, what you could wear with your dress, what you shouldn't wear. For instance, if you have a high neckline, you wouldn't want to wear long jewelry. You probably wear earrings that stand out. If your wedding dress is of a high neckline. If it's a sweetheart neckline, you probably wear a piece that sits in the middle of the heart. It all depends on your style. So you need somebody to show you along the way. And then it's also, you also need to take into consideration the color of your dress. Is it white? If it is white, then there's a particular color of jewelry that you need to wear. If it is rose, there's also, you wouldn't want to use silver on rose. You probably use silver on a white wedding dress. If it's rose, you probably use rose gold, and so on and so forth. There are different things that you need to take into consideration. So I will go back to the fact that you need a bead specialist that is worth her salt to show you what to do. Now, there is a write-up on my website about what to choose. It's in depth on what to choose, how to choose your bead accessories. So you can check that out as well. Now, your bridal train as a groom, some brides choose the same jewelry for their bridal train. Some don't mind. It's your choice. It's your day. And the bridal train will always concede to you that it is your day, or they should concede to you that it is your day, so it is your choice. I have brides that make the same jewelry set for their bridal train, usually pearls. It could be bronze pearls, it could be chocolate, it could be whatever color, it could be white, it could be pink, whatever you choose, but to make simple sets for them. So it is up to you to choose what you want. Some brides, don't worry, some brides are not fussy, but if you want that, you can also incorporate that into your style. But simplicity is key for your bridal train. Don't let your bridal train be too busy. Simplicity is key in the jewelry that they will use. Less is more is very appropriate for the bridal train. So I would say that you could check out the post on my website, loyaltopscreations.com. Is what to consider when designing or buying beaded jewelry accessories for a wedding. So that it goes more in depth, in detail of what you can do. So thank you for being with me this week. Always remember to click the subscribe button, so if you haven't done so already. And I encourage you to ask your friends and friends to also click onto our channel. There are so many different things that come out at different times. Remember, our videos are normally out Fridays at 7 p.m. So thank you for listening, and thank you for watching this video. I'll see you next time. Bye.